Okay, guys, let's talk about this France-Africa summit that happened in Kenya 2 days ago. I think it's still in continuation. But I don't understand why we are doing this to ourselves. Like, I don't know whether you have noticed that we have this thing where we are always standing next to another country, like the France-Africa summit. We have the China-African summit. I think we had the EU-Africa summit. We always like, I think we even have a Japan Africa summit. Like, why is it like always another country and then us? Like, have you guys thought about that? Anyway, by the way, there's a lot to unpack when it comes to the France Africa summit. I just feel like I don't even know what to say, to be quite honest, with these puppet presidents that we have. Imagine the way Ruto is praising Macron, knowing that the reason the Sahel actually kicked France out is actually because they were not defending them. They were literally sponsoring the terrorists to actually create havoc. And I think Ruto knows that. It's not like he doesn't know. Like, you got to be very, very dumb not to know that's what was going on, to be quite honest. Because you can have a country that has been apparently protecting you for 10 years and nothing happened. And when they leave, things are better, even though it's not completely there, because they are still sponsoring the terrorists to actually prove the Sahel leaders wrong. But they are not. What happened in Mali recently, I think I shared that, is actually everybody now knows that who was sponsoring those terrorists that they actually now call rebels. You know, they're going to call them freedom fighters. They're going to make them leaders, just like they did with the Al-Qaeda leader, who's now actually the one leading Syria and so on, who have been having meetings in France, in the divided kingdom, in the divided states. I mean, come on, guys. This is the reality of what's going on right now. Anyway, let's talk about this summit. So Macron stood up and say, hey, you know what? Listen to this first.
Already? You're not waiting your turn.
I will make order. Excuse me, everybody. Hey. I'm sorry, guys. But it's impossible to speak about culture, to have people like that, super inspired, coming here, making a speech with such a noise. So this is a total lack of respect.
Now, when I look at that, when I listen to that, I would have said that maybe Macron had a point. He wanted to actually make sure that the speaker, who was, I think he was Kenyan probably, I'm not quite sure, so that he can at least get the information out that he was going to talk about. I think it's a culture kind of thing that he was going to talk about. But that's not even the problem. The problem is not you addressing people to actually at least make sure that the other person is being heard. It's the way you do it. And the way you do it show how you count these people and how you regard these people. Like, I mean, the way he say, hey, would he do that if it was maybe like, for example, in the divided states? Would he do that in front of Trump? Would he do that if it's the EU? Come on, we know that he wouldn't speak that way. He wouldn't speak in that way, regardless of what he wants to accomplish. Anyway, I want you to also listen to what Ruto had to say about like the way he had to praise, Macron.
We can speak for ourselves as Africans. And I want to say, and to congratulate President Macron for having the courage to recalibrate the relationship between Africa and France, to make it more inclusive. It's not about Anglophone, Francophone.
Macron also took a direct aim at China's growing dominance in Africa's mineral sector. He accused Beijing of creating dependencies by extracting African resources and processing them abroad.
Why is China growing dominance in Africa such a concern to Macron? Like, why is he so worried about China growth in Africa? because we are not saying China is good, because all these actors actually want our resources. But at least if you have actors that want your resources, but at least they respect you, then that's okay. Then, we can talk, right? So why is he worried? Nonsense. Let's continue.
At the same time, Macron acknowledged that Africa is no longer France's backyard.
This is a continent that I no longer want France to view as its own private domain, where business leaders would, in a sense, have all the rights or have all contracts guaranteed to them simply because it was Francophone Africa. That is over.
Oh, so Macron is now admitting straightforwardly on national television that, okay, Africa is no longer in France's backyard. And the audacity to act like the reason Africa is not in France's backyard anymore is because of them deciding that. No, it's not because of France. It's not because they have decided not to put us in their backyard anymore. It's because the Sahel kicked you guys out, okay? Don't act like it's something that, oh no, that came down to maybe working together. No, it's because the Sahel kicked you guys out. They kicked your ASS out of their regions. Shit.
My good friend Emmanuel, this is the grand finale of the Africa Forward Summit. It started in KICC, the finals is here at Kasarani. Is that correct?
Now, you know what? This is the thing, guys. This is the thing. We know what was happening in Kenya. I don't know, was it 6 months ago when all the Kenyans were in the streets and, obviously against Ruto. And I love the Kenyan youth. The Kenyan youth is one of the best ever when it comes to protesting. Honestly speaking, those people, I give them credit. Now, when you look at what's going on now with Ruto and all these Western leaders, I feel like he's busy buying, and because that obviously most Kenyans are tired of him. They don't want to probably select him in the next election. But that's what's going on in Africa. Africa is not really democratically, run in the sense of what we hear about democracy in brackets, obviously. Because what they do is when you do these good things for the West, they actually make sure you win the election. They rig the election, but no one's, will find out in a sense. Even if we talk, they're going to say that, oh no, the election was fair and free. But it's not true. They are the one making sure that that person, the leader that's going to sell his soul and sell his, the resources of his people is going to be in power, because that's what they want. That's why they're fighting the Sahel guys. Anyway, guys, that's about it. From me, Jehovah, take care. Bye.
Kelly